Hey guys, Jim here, and I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to you about one of my absolute favorite manufacturers in the industry, and that's Chris Reeve. I'm not really going to be breaking any new ground here. I'm just going to be kind of giving my viewpoint, the way that I feel about Chris Reeve Knives. There's always that question, are they worth the money that they charge? I mean, it's just a couple pieces of titanium and a steel blade. Are they really worth what you're paying for? And I got to tell you, in my personal opinion, the most perfect all-around knife made is made by Chris Reeve, whether it be a Sebenza, whether it be an Umnumzan. I haven't gotten into the Menandis or anything like that, or the fixed blades. But as far as creating what is overall considered to be the most perfect everyday carry folding knife, I really think that Chris Reeve has nailed it. Whether you go for something dressy and elegant like one of the Unique series, something a little bit more basic like the computer graphics series, or the Omnumzon. Now mine is obviously extraordinarily pimped out, but that was just a classic. It looked just like, the backside of this. It was just all rough finish, blasted titanium all the way through. And it was one of those just perfect everyday amazing knives. When I look at my practical needs, I'm not really working a lot with my hands. I'm not out there doing a lot of work and cutting a lot of different things. But the need arises, I want to have something that's going to be absolutely razor sharp, that's not going to fail me, and that's going to have a bit of class and a bit of style when I'm carrying around in my pocket all day. And that's what I really turn to Chris Reeve for. The feeling of absolute solidity, the perfection in the manufacturing. This is not your average, everyday, run-of-the-mill knife. One of my favorite inexpensive knives is this Makusta Katana. This is an amazing knife. It's a great knife. It's going to cut like crazy. It's got an amazing edge. It's got a fantastic blade. Very smooth operation, no matter what you're doing with it. It's got a nice clean design to it, and these were like, I don't know, I think they were about $130, $140. Great knife. But there's a big difference between this and this. You know what, forget that, because there's going to be a lot more differences between this and this. The overall quality, the specifications in which Chris Reeve uses, everything is done to the absolute finest, tightest tolerances. One of the examples it's always given, and I think it's one of the most practical examples. This is a knife that you do not void your warranty by taking it apart. There are manufacturers that say you take your knife apart, your warranty is voided. That's it, period. And then you got guys like, brands like Strider that say we'd rather you not take it apart. And if you take it apart and can't get it back together, don't send it back to us. You got to figure out a way to fix it. But they're not going to necessarily void your warranty because you took it apart. You take it apart, gotten it back together several times, and oops, something else happened, not as a result of you taking it apart. They're not going to void your warranty. But there are a lot of companies that do. With Chris Reeve, not only does he encourage you to maintain your own knives, but he provides to you tools in which to do so. You can buy the Onumzan kit right directly off his website. He gives you directions on his website how to take the damn thing apart. And here's the reason why. You can't screw it up. You look at most any traditional knife, once you go tearing it apart, when you go to put it back together, you're going to look down and your blade's not going to be centered. Or it's going to be rubbing on one of the handles, and you can't quite figure out why. And you can't get it to feel the way that it did when you first got it. All the adjustment right there in the pivot is an important thing. When you take a Chris Reeve apart and put it back together, the only thing you've got to do is tighten every bolt down. Tighten them down as tight as they'll go. And you're not going to change the operation of the knife at all. It's going to be every bit as smooth as it was before. It's going to lock up in the exact same place that it did before. And that's because every individual component that he manufactures is done to such a perfect degree that you as a user, when you put all of those components back together, you can't screw it up. Every single one of these has the exact same space in between these handles. These standoffs are actually, that's actually the blade stop there. Everything is the exact same specification. He actually even has a machine that once they've kind of cut the slabs and filed everything down to where it needs to be, that takes, I think it holds 5 or 6 handles, or maybe even sets of handles, and it completely brings them down to the exact same thickness. So if I pick this knife up and 3 other Small Sebenzas, and I take a micrometer and I measure each of these slabs, they're going to be identical. And I think his specifications are down to like less than half of a thousandth of an inch. I mean, it's less than the width of a human hair. And because of that precision, you're getting the quality that that's what you're paying for. There's a lot of man hours that go into each and every knife. Every machine that's having to be used is calibrated to a certain degree. He has actually created some of the machines that are used to manufacture his knives, instead of buying typical tooling and typical machining that other manufacturers might use. He's actually manufactured his own machines to make his knives perfect. Then when every knife comes out, they're actually touched by human hands. They're fitted. Everything is checked over and over and over. And anything that's not 100% perfect is then worked by hand to make sure it's going to be perfect. The bushing system that he invented, that he created within that pivot, has made the Sebenza legendary for the way that it opens and it closes. The feeling really is unlike any other knife out there. People seem to forget all the innovations that he's come up with. You look at the stonewash flats on this. He was the first guy to stonewash blades, period. Nobody did stonewash before Chris Reeve. The innovations that he's come up with, it's no reason, it's no mystery, I should say, as to why he's won the number of awards that he has. His knives are as perfect as a product can be. Is everything going to be 100% perfect, every single knife that comes out of his factory? No. But that's what a warranty's for, and that's why they stand behind everything. So when you look at your basic Sebenzas, you got your classics, your 21s, and now the new 25s. I haven't picked up a 25 yet. It is certainly on the list. I'm kind of wanting to wait until he at least does some sort of computer graphic version. Don't know if he will. If he doesn't, I'll buy a standard one, send it out to Chris Martin at Phantom Steelworks, and I'll have something done to it. But when you break it down, you've got your Small Sebenza and you've got your Large Sebenza. Small Sebenza, it really is. It's a small knife. It's something that's very easy to carry. For somebody that just wears shorts all day, every day, lightweight clothing, this is probably going to serve most everybody's needs. This is a pattern he no longer makes. This was called the Crosshairs. I thought it was cool, so I bought it. This is one of the classics, by the way. You can tell the difference in the cutouts here. People complain, this is the original way they came, and people complained that it was too difficult to engage the lock bar. Okay, fine. I'll make a much larger notch, much bigger choil, cut out easier to get over to the lock bar. This is the Large Sebenza. This is one of the uniques, and he really stands by that. When he says something is unique, that's it. There was one of this knife ever made. So whenever you're perusing through whatever website you're buying from, GP Knives or Blade HQ or whomever that you're perusing through, if you see a Sebenza unique and you want it, you better buy it, because when it's gone, there will never be another one like it, period. This one has the double mother of pearl. He did the blue anodizing around the edges, and then this particular pattern that was done in the blue. When I saw this, I bought mine from edgedspecialties.com. I knew I had to have it. The blued standoff, which I had not seen on any other at the time. The blue thumb stud, and then of course, this astounding Damascus blade. Raindrop Damascus. I'm not a real big Damascus person, And I'll probably never buy another Chris Reeve Damascus. And the only reason why, I mean, this blade is absolute perfection. The problem is, I won't cut anything with this. I've cut, envelopes or paper or something with it, and it is truly razor sharp. He did just an amazing job, as with all of his blades. But you're buying a Sebenza because it's meant to work. It's meant to do something with. And this is just a little bit too pretty to go out and go screwing around with. As you can see, this has been carried for years. I love this knife. No matter how beautiful it is, I'm still going to carry it. I'm still going to use it. I'm still going to enjoy it and love it. So we'll put that back, go back over here to the Small Sebenza. This is the kind of knife that you're going to use for everything. It doesn't matter what your daily activities are. If you're going to go fishing, you're going to go camping, you're just using it around the office to cut open envelopes, break down a few boxes here and there. This is the perfect knife. It's going to do everything you want it to do. It's got great edge retention. They're easy to sharpen. Chris Reeve will sharpen your knife for you if you don't have the guts to go playing with the blade, and certainly a lot of people are going to feel like that. The precision in the manufacturing is what you're paying for. Now, one of the things I actually want to talk about, because this is talked about quite often on various forums, people say that Chris Reeve has a bad attitude, that he's kind of a snob, and that he will void your warranty if he finds out that you've been flicking your blade. And I know I'm doing this right now just to irk about 6 people out there. They're going, oh, no, he's flicking his blade. Don't you know you can't do that? Listen, number one, Chris is not a jerk. Chris is not a snob. I have had the wonderful opportunity of having several conversations with him, fairly lengthy conversations. He is one of the most civil, nice, kind, down-to-earth people that I've ever talked to. Very knowledgeable and willing to share that knowledge. There's going to be a lot of knife makers out there. They're not going to share their knowledge. They're not going to talk about how they do certain things because it's proprietary to them. They don't want to tell everybody their business. And I found him to be, pretty much an open book. I thought he was phenomenal. But when it gets down to the whole, you can't flick your Sebenza because you're going to void your warranty. Listen, go read very carefully on the frequently asked questions on his website. And he very clearly states, wrist flicking is the one thing that he talks about because you're exerting so much extra force that's unnecessary. He's still not going to void your warranty. What he says is, if they see signs of excessive wrist flicking, and that has nothing to do with thumb flicking, those are two different things. What they're going to check when they get your knife back is they're going to check the back edge, the lockup of the blade, and the blade stop. And if there's excessive wear, where it's been hammered and hammered and hammered in there, it's not going to void your warranty, but he's going to charge you to replace that blade stop. He's going to charge you if there's a little bit of extra labor just to get that blade to lock up in the same way that he feels it should. That's not a void of your warranty. Anything else that's wrong with that knife, he's going to take care of. You're going to pay a nominal charge to replace a blade stop. That's it. And it's very easily, I don't know why it's such a big argument. It's very easy to see on his website. He references it. I think he's very, very clear about it, not vague in any way. So if you've ever considered buying a Chris Reeve and you heard the horror stories and somebody told the old wives' tale, well, he won't let you flick open your knife. He's telling you how you have to operate your knife, and if you don't do it exactly as he tells you, he's going to void your warranty. Don't listen to them because they're either an idiot or they're just simply misunderstanding the words that they've read or heard it through second and third parties, and those people were either idiots or misunderstood what they read. So yeah, you could take your Sebenza. Yeah, I'm playing with an $800 knife here. I don't mind flicking it open all day, left and right. And you know what? It locks up the exact same as the day I bought it. Period. That's it. I could take this knife apart, do all the maintenance, do all the cleaning, put it back together in a matter of minutes. It's one of the easiest knives ever made to take apart. There's no mystery to it. And again, if you get screwed up, you go look at the website and he shows you how to do it. And there's, about 85 different videos on YouTube that shows you. you're buying into something that's built solid, and the term has always been as solid as a bank vault. And it really is true. The precision in which these are manufactured is almost unrivaled. Go out there and pick up other knives in these price ranges. $425 I paid for this. $425 I paid for this. Again, this is much more embellished. That was $800. Go find me another knife that's made to this degree of perfection that no matter what you do to it, it's still razor sharp. Great, very thin hollow grind. I mean, it's almost paper thin. And one of the interesting things that he does is he realizes people are going to sharpen their knives. This is not your typical hollow grind where it gets down to that paper edge thinness at the end. Your blade is actually thinner right here than it is down there at the actual edge of the blade. And the reason being, he says, every time you do a real sharpening on a blade, you're losing material. You're pulling back and pulling back. And he says, if the material gets thicker and thicker and thicker, you're not going to have the same quality edge that you had on the new knife. So it's actually thinner here than it is down here, that it gives you years and years, probably a lifetime of sharpening, and still maintain an absolute hair-splitting, razor-sharp edge. This is the type of innovation, this is the type of forward thinking that Chris gives you that really other manufacturers don't. So if you ever considered owning a Sebenza, an Omnumzon, any Chris Reeve, take the leap. The quality is there. You'll see it when you're holding it in your hand, and you will absolutely feel it. The first time you open it, when you feel it, when you've got it in your hand, you realize the practicality. There's a reason why over the past 25 years that the design really has not changed that much. And when they go from model to model, from the Sebenza to the Omnumzon to the new Sebenza 25, there have been changes and modifications, but they're so slight that these knives, really, they're almost identical. There's very little difference between them. The quality is the same. I would expect these things to be able to last me a lifetime of service without worry. So again, if you ever consider getting a Chris Reeve, get past all the stories that you've heard, make the decision for yourself. It may not be for you. They're not going to be for everybody. But I think overall, if somebody told me that I had to get rid of every knife I owned and I was only allowed to keep one, you know, I got some really nice knives. I got stuff that I really, really love, and I paid a lot more money for than these. And I'll be honest with you, I honestly think that it would be a Chris Reeve that would be my last sole knife in my collection if it came down to it. It's a knife that I know can withstand work. It's still going to be beautiful. It's going to be a great presentation, but I'm not afraid to use it. It's a tough knife. It's made for that. I can tear it down, put it back together within, a couple of minutes, do all the maintenance I need to do with very simple, basic tools. That's what it's made for, and that's where they excel. Yes, you can get fancier, you can get pretty, you can get show quality type of knives, or you can get a grunt that's going to do something for you every single day. You're going to cut with it, you're going to slice with it, you're going to enjoy it, and you're not going to cry over it when you use it. And that's the other thing. If you're going to buy a Chris Reeve, use the damn thing. It's not meant to just sit in a drawer and look at. Okay, maybe something like that will put you off to the side. It's meant to use. I'm not going to say abuse. I wouldn't go, stabbing this into something and beating the backside of the spine with a hammer, but it would live up to it. I mean, it's made to do that sort of thing. This is the kind of knife that is practical, that's everyday. It can be beautiful, but it's a tough beauty. So anyway, I'm sure there's going to be quite an amount of comments on that. Some people love Chris Reeve. Some people hate Chris Reeve. It's a very polarizing brand, but I think it's hard to deny, no matter where you are on either side of that fence. Forgetting the price for a moment, you cannot deny the quality, the precision, and the craftsmanship that's offered in every single one. So I'll be looking forward to the comments on this one, and I will talk to you guys soon.